So we've been around for 10 years. We help out people in the hospitality industry that should come across financial difficulties through health issues. We're a last resort, we're not an insurance policy. We also give out scholarships to people in the hospitality industry. I'll just give you a little bit of background on myself. I've always been in hospitality. Rolled my first taco when I was 14 years old. and then worked for Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor when I was 15, and worked at PJ Burger and Sons, worked at Bridges, always in the hospitality industry. Always front of house. I tried a little bit of working in the back, well, not in the back, but in the bartender situation, and I much more enjoyed meeting one-on-one with people that were coming into the restaurants than I did seeing the same person 8 times over and over again coming up and asking me for the margarita or whatever. That I enjoyed sort of dealing with. I've always loved dealing with people. So the hospitality industry started out, as I say, we're on our 10-year anniversary. We started out about 14 years ago when somebody, it was a wine rep who, he was rear-ended in his car, didn't think much of it, settled with ICBC, and then 6 weeks later had a stroke. The stroke made him have to get a machine that made him have to breathe. So a group of us on the hospitality industry, about 10 of us, got together and started raising funds. And we raised funds to get him this machine because it was $50,000 and it wasn't covered by medical. So we raised funds and we got him the machine, and when we gave him the machine, he said, listen, I'll take it. Obviously he's going to take it, but he said, I'll take it, but you need to create a foundation that helps out other people in the hospitality industry. So that's where we came from. That's how we started. When we went to apply to be a charity, we needed to broaden our horizons. This sort of talks a little bit about hope. This is our chair right now, Christine Coletta. Just talk a little bit more about, we help out people, as I say, when they need it most. We have helped out, that's me in the yellow over there. We not only the person that's the employee at in the restaurant or hotel or in the vineyard or at the winery or the brewmaster. We've had people that have had children that have had difficulties. We had I'm going to bring everybody down for a little bit after that great speech. Now I can just go and sit and eat cake and tell the story. But we helped. There was a young couple up in Kelowna that put their 3-year-old daughter. I remember giving this check to them. They put their 3-year-old daughter to bed one night, and she woke up the next morning paralyzed. And it was just because she had a blood clot in her back. And when I went to give her the check, we had funds for her. We went to give her the check. I went to see this young couple. I didn't have children, and I went to see this young couple, and they were taking such good care of her. And the little girl was so in love with her trainer that it was heartbreaking. And we gave her, I can't remember how much it was for, but the mom and the dad had to leave Kelowna. They had to come down to Vancouver. They had to take this young little girl who didn't know any different, and the parents were like, she doesn't know any different. And spent a good hour with the daughter. Gave her the check, left, felt like I do right now. And so we help out people that have had problems with their kids, problem with their husbands or wives, not only that person. I always cry when it comes to Anyway, last year we helped out 36 beneficiaries with $131,000. This year we're already at 12 with, almost $40,000. And for whatever reason this year they seem to be coming in bigger. We were having to give out a little bit more. They seem to be a little bit more troublesome. We also give out scholarships. When we applied to get our charity, we had to broaden our horizons, not just to help out people in the hospitality industry. We also had to start giving out scholarships. That's the fun part of the job. I just went through I've been the executive director for 4 months, I think now. Just finished up 4 months, starting my 5 months. But I've been on the board for 8 years, and I've been involved somewhat since the beginning. So we give out scholarships. So we've got an industry scholarship. This is a cool one for everybody, all the gals that were here talking tonight. If you've got children that are in the industry or interested in being in the industry, We give out a couple scholarships a year, 1 or 2 scholarships a year to people that are wanting their kids to go into hospitality. So it's a good career. Culinary scholarships. These are ones that are chosen. We work with the Chef's Table Society, and they are people apply for this, and it's generally younger groups that apply for this, high school students and whatnot. And so I think we give about 5 of those out a year. I had the best experience yesterday. I tried to change up the scholarships. We used to take them to a large breakfast at a summit, and we'd make this big presentation, and it cost us money and cost them money, and it was great. But I thought it would be better to have sort of have them have one-on-ones with different people, and I tried to make them special. So I had a young girl yesterday that she was grade 12. She wanted to meet a chef. I said, it was the one scholarship that I was able to give out in person. And she wanted to meet a chef, and she wanted to meet Alex Chen from Boulevard, because he just won Chef of the Year. So I said, well, I can make that happen. I've never met him, but I know who he is. So I wrote him and I said, Alex, explain the situation. Could you give this checkout in the presentation? And he's, I'm out of town, but I'll get my pastry chef. As I was reading her bio, I was like, oh, she's a pastry chef. I really should, talk to a pastry chef. So I thought, you know what, I'll just see if Thomas Hawes has got the time to join us for lunch. So I wrote Thomas Hawes last Wednesday, and I said, Thomas, this is what I'm doing. I've met him a couple of times, but not enough I've never sat and had lunch with him. I said, Thomas, can you come down and meet with me and give this check? It's going to be her teacher. It's going to be her mom and herself. And so he said, well, I can't just say hello. I have to have lunch and make it light, right? And I said, well, we're ordering off the menu, so you can order what you'd like. And so it was so much fun, because we were at Boulevard, and I said, oh, somebody else is coming to join us. Just keep that spot there. And her instructor said, oh my God, that's Thomas Hawes at the door. And he came over and he sat, and for a full hour he sat there and spoke to her and gave her just little bits of wisdom, and some of the great things that he's done. And and I was also listening to hear some great things that that I can take for my own business and for life in general. One of the things that he said to me yesterday was, or he wasn't speaking to me, he was speaking to her, was he said, you have to, if you're going to be a team, you need to, and you're all dealing together. This can be anywhere, anything in life, but if you're all working to create something at the end, don't bitch about what somebody else is doing. Embrace what they do differently than what you do. He says, I have this one gal, and she is so precise, and she never does anything wrong, but it takes her forever to get it done. And he says, and then I've got this other girl, and she can go speedily along, but I usually have to go by and check and do things, and she's always bitching about her, and she's always bitching about her. And he said, I don't want to say the B word, but he said, this always happens. And he said, you know what, you need to embrace that she does this perfectly, but it takes her a little bit longer. You get it done a lot quicker, but together we all get it done, and we get it done very well. And that was something that I took away from it. Anyway, it was such a thrill to have him just sort of talking to her, and then the pastry chef came out, Chef Kento came out, and brought her a nice dish. And so that's the culinary ones. We also give away 4 sommelier scholarships, and they're also applied for, and we've got about 10 judges that work on those, who give out those at the wine festival. Hospitality scholarship, as well as the Gregory King scholarship. I think I can go back one. There we go. The Gregory King scholarship. This is another one that he was a young student or a young chef, wanted to go to Pika, and hadn't quite signed up for school, and passed away in a car accident. So I met with his mom, and she'd set up a scholarship for him, and Pika works with them, and we're working to. When I saw what was happening with the scholarship, I said, that scholarship's really only going to last, another year and a half. Like, how are we going to make this last longer? And met with Pika, and we've, devised some plans that every time Pika donates to one of our fundraisers, all that money will go into the Gregory King. Every time that Cactus Club, who is where he had worked, donates to one of our fundraisers, all that money will go into that, so that her scholarship for her son can last a bit longer.
Pika's so generous.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So we have given away since 2009 $184,000 dollars in scholarships, and some of them are sponsored, but not all of them, like certainly not all of them are sponsored. How we fundraise, we have several different ways. On Thursday, I've got a large event that we're doing, and it is at the convention center. We have Wines of Argentina supplying the wines. We've got 14 restaurants there. We've got a huge silent auction, and we also have a raffle, bartender competition. So, you know, we'll raise money. That's one of our big fundraisers. After that, we will be working on the golf tournament, which is more of an industry one. The Dish and Dazzle is more for consumers. The golf tournament's more of an industry one. There's still tickets for Dish and Dazzle, and you can get a $10 discount by going in and just punching in BCHF 2018, or just email me and I can give that to you. This year in January, well, we are the chosen charity for Tourism Vancouver and Tourism Victoria, so they give us opportunities to raise funds where we can. And this year we did a large fundraiser at the Orpheum Theatre. It was the hardest event to work, but it was the first year. So I did like 35,000 steps up and down with bus pans and in a full sweat, but I love event management, so it was good. Yeah, different little fundraisers that we've got. Let me see, golf tournaments, I've talked about that. We're always looking for volunteers, and we've got some events coming up. A&W is one of the gentlemen is on our board, so we need somebody to dress up as a mascot on Canada Day at the Canadians game. Brewery and the Beast, Okanagan Falls Spring Release. We have just been the chosen charity of the BC Wine Institute for all their events this year, so that's nice. And then Top Drop's another wine event that's coming up. Some of our partner events, Hotel Association of Vancouver, Okanagan Wine Festival, Thompson Okanagan Golf Tournament, and as I talked about Tourism Vancouver and Tourism Victoria. Different ways. When I first started, I think one of the first things we got was a nice check from the Fairmont Chateau Whistler, and all their employees had elected to give us money each paycheck, so we ended up with a nice donation of about $5,000 from them, and that's easy. That's way easier than putting 35,000 steps up on your I always have loved working. Like you know, I'll be at an event and I'm dirty and I've got a little bit of a sweat going and I'm carrying stuff around, and somebody will be like, "You're the executive director, you're not supposed to be doing this," and that's not the case at all. Like that, I cannot stay still. You have to work to make the. I'm not going to stand off to the side and watch everybody else work. There we go. The opportunities for you to help. So volunteering is probably what we need most. Is a little bit of help at some of the events that we do, a little bit of help on some of our committees that we work with, and as well, obviously, donations are ways that we can do it, that we can get a little bit further. Those are all our partners. Hoping to get a few more over the coming years. And that's our social media information. So I will answer any questions about the BC Hospitality Foundation when we get to the question and answer part.